Okay, everybody is not in the right spot. Give me a moment.
Like how it was last episode.
Yep.
Oh yeah, I forgot. These glasses are so nice because I haven't worn them yet before today, so they're like fresh and clean, like nothing on them.
Yes, that's like
Don't
the
worry.
best feeling.
Yeah, until like a
This is
week
what it's
later.
like to see clearly.
You only get it one time in
All
your
my
life.
other glasses. Yep, it's today.
Both of these glasses, because this is actually an older pair that I had.
Okay, that actually does
that I
show
needed.
quite nicely,
All right.
especially the gaps.
Welcome, everyone, to our final session, the concluding episode of Who Are the Monsters. As always, my name is Bianca Zelda, your DM, your game master, your keeper, your bringer of potential death. That's my title.
Yeah.
As always, we are joined by, let's go in my circle. Carly, tell me about your character and tell me a bit about your outfit and how that represents Gwen.
Sure. So Gwen is the expert, is her handbook for Monster of the Week. She's very, very smart and very used to be a lot more positive than she probably will be after today. But it'll be fine. It'll be fine. But yeah, so the outfit I'm wearing, I kind of pieced it together when I pictured Gwen when you had us go at the beginning of like I think it was session 0, you kind of asked what everyone was wearing, and I always pictured her in this kind of steampunky Victorian type thing. Now I don't have anything in my wardrobe that does that. So I went with the cool round glasses because those were the one things I did have. And then this dress just kind of had a cool, you can't really see it with my webcam, but it has a cool little like collar thing. And then I liked the choker, and I did a little character creator where I made her with a little choker. So I was like, it's perfect. I have that.
It fits nicely. As somebody who's an expert, like it's just like everything is so prim and proper. Like you're an expert at everything you do.
It's like it's librarian-esque. That's what I was going for.
Yes.
I get those vibes. Excellent. And then we have Miriam. First off, you look fantastic. It's just like it's the simplicity of it that I appreciate. But as always, tell me a bit about your character and why you chose this for them.
Yeah, so I'm playing Furia, which is the summon playbook, and I am a child-sized golem. And I like to do things in a budget when I can, and this literally cost me nothing. But also, Killian's character basically had a Weekend at Bernie-esque costume as a disguise. So big floppy hat, check. Sunglasses, check. Oh, there's a mustache too, which I'll probably do during the game. You'll see that come back on.
Will you?
Yeah, I'll do it right now. I have a eyeliner, so
Yes.
everyone else
I
is
needed
getting the
this.
introductions. So just pretend I'm not here.
Yeah,
Talk
you're
amongst
fine.
yourselves.
You're great.
Oh my god, thank you so much.
Oh my goodness. All right. Well, underneath Miriam, we have Norman. Tell me a bit about your character, Killian, and why you chose this outfit. I'm going to close my door.
Okay. So yes, Killian's the mad scientist. I chose this because I like super smart people, but I also like them to be a few chicken nuggets from a full 20-piece meal. So I thought, you know what? Yeah, let me go along with this. It's just literally one bad day is all it takes type deal. So I went with a lab coat that I forgot I had when I used to work in my hospital as a cook, and I just threw that on, and my goggles, which
The goggles
put
are
around here
great.
somewhere. Yeah, that. And as I look at it and keep thinking about it, like I'm just a bad extra for Breaking Bad.
I see it. Totally.
Yeah. I just gotta say science a lot in bitch. Hold on.
And you'll be golden.
There you go.
Perfect.
Science.
Devin, wonderful everything. I mean, I do have to draw attention to the missing eye because it's just so perfect. Love it. Even the silver on your other eye is like representation. I mean, don't let me tell you who you look like. Tell me about your outfit, please.
So this was made with pretty much stuff I had lying around from previous cosplays, plus a little bit tweaking. This was actually a suit of armor I'd made for something else that I was thinking, oh, I'm never going to use this again. And it was just sitting around, and I was like, oh, this is going to be perfect. So I went to the store, grabbed some paint, grabbed some sealer, grabbed some charcoal, and a paint marker, and just went to town in about 6 hours.
What?
Oh, and some aluminum foil tape.
I'm into it. Also, Miriam, yes. Yes. I can't do this, seriously. Between everybody.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
This is gonna be real tough. I'll either be laughing or crying. Just everything. Even your what's the word? I want to call it a greave, but that's one on your shins.
This is a
that's
gauntlet.
amazing.
Gauntlet. Yes. So flippin'
Very shiny.
cool. Oh my gosh. I'm a texture person, so with all my heart and soul I would like to touch the gauntlet, but that's okay. I'll just have to pretend. And finally, last but not least, Shannon, our wonderful chosen goblin smudge. Tell me about your outfit and how did you make Smudge into what you were able to represent through this outfit?
So Smudge is wearing about 17 layers of just every kind of rag that the local sewing collective had. Shout out local sewing collectives. And everything from socks that have been cut into little pieces to his fur coat. The ears are actually made out of foam insoles for shoes
Ooh.
that have then been painted and basically duct taped to my headphones.
If it works, it works.
And he is filthy and falling apart and just having it. It's so much fun, guys. Not gonna lie, it's so much fun.
I'm gonna tell you, Shannon, this whole outfit is held together with a little bit of duct tape and lots of hope.
I'm just waiting for you to one day come across someone named Skywalker and ride his back. That's just me.
I see the Yoda vibes.
I know. I was like, I look like a sci-fi
I'm
guy.
getting the Yoda vibe. It's in the
great.
best way.
And also the disgusting teeth with instant coffee.
You kill me.
Slade.
All right. So, I don't even know what kind of intro. I for context, I hand wrote 4 pages of ifs.
Oh wow.
Because I don't know how people plan games. How do you plan when it's a collaborative storytelling? I can't guide people on the path that I want. It's just like, well, if this happens, this is the consequence. If this happens, y'all are dead. If this happens, who knows? Like, So, I'm thinking what we can do is we will set the scene. I had a note for this too.
Oof.
This is what happens when I write too fucking much. Well, not using my notes. So, we last left off with the high priest. He no longer looks like what anybody would have identified with a follower of Sahinin. What stands before you is nothing more than a crackling, bristling pillar of power. In this altar room, you see Elen laying on the ground, completely immobile. And let's have everybody resituate themselves so we can reposition our theater of the mind a little bit more accurately. Faryad, where did we leave you?
I think I was clotheslining the high priest with the pillar.
Mm-hmm. And I believe we had determined that, well, the damage itself didn't look like it felt great, there was no lasting consequences for that wild move. And the pillar, the altar itself, I recall, had crumbled. I think that was a consequence of your mayhem, was that your weapon is just now a pile of rubble. So you're surrounded by the little bit of rubble that you had kind of crumpled in your hands. And I'm imagining you towards the center of the altar room, near where the pillar would have, or near where the altar would have been.
And pretty close to the high priest as well. I think I had jokingly said I was planning on using Avatar Smudge as my next mayhem weapon, but I'm not actually going to do that.
You do you. Killian.
Yes.
Where can we localize you in this room? And, like, how are your arms doing?
Well, as you can already see, I lost my good arm, and then the Warforged arm is like, if everybody's seen FMA, you guys know when Edward has a whole long blade coming out. So I had to use my destructive genius to sort of make like a makeshift version of that because it was melting. And I was like, might as well turn it into a weapon because the hand at least still worked, but you could see like some real heavy damage going onto that arm. I used it to basically like pierce the high priest, but he was not about that, and he just like got himself off, which real dickish move. Like, come on, like I literally I took a giant hole in you, and he disappears, and then that's when he reappears, dealing with Faryad. So I'm kind of not in the immediate combat zone. So I was thinking about it. I'm at like 4 harm. I was thinking about either healing myself or Elaine. And I decided that I'm just gonna like heal Elaine because I need like a real hands-on deck type situation happening to take this person out. And she might know something more, but she's constantly franting. So I was like really debating if I want to bring her back or not.
Okay. I mean, we'll pause before you perform that action, and I did make a note that your makeshift weapon, because it's something that you had kind of... You put it together, but you only have so many moves, like so many actions available on it before it will probably shatter or break in the most dramatic of ways.
Yeah, so I actually wrote it down. I said I could use it up to 3 times, and I added the +2 harm messy heavy. Those are like the 2 effects that I chose for it.
Perfect. Aladwin, where you at, my homie?
Well, I was kind of dealing with the fact that the high priest is actually a big, evil, terrible guy. And he just excommunicated me. Thus the the whole. Also, I lost an eye. That was a pretty big. That was a pretty big thing. So, I was having a good day.
You were having the best day for once in your life.
I mean, I got like my makeup all done up and everything. It looks good. And,
all for what?
Yeah. But I was
questioned why I went for his vanity.
Right.
And so I was basically dealing with the fact of all this kind of being dumped on me within about 5 minutes all at once. And I kind of just started ranting and raving at the high priest about how he is no true holy man. I started turning the Paladin's Oath back at him in an effort to just kind of more so for himself to verify that he is doing the right thing, but also because it's a good way to distract the high priest while somebody else figures out a way to attack him, because he just excommunicated me. So I don't know if I really have a whole lot I can offer to the fight at that point.
I'd actually forgotten about that. Did you get through your whole entire oath?
I did, yes.
You did, okay. Okay. And situationally, you are center-ish.
Yeah, basically in the center, because when the high priest entered, I immediately kneeled and greeted him in Elvish, and then he kind of just started backhanding people with mind powers. And so I believe I'm in the center, but I was, if I recall, I was right in front of him because he had just finished burning away all of the sacred parts of my armor, and I just kind of was trying desperately to think of something, and I managed to glean a few things, which I managed to get out loud to everybody else. We were able to determine that he is no longer a high priest. He's probably going to bring about the apocalypse, and something about his own power being used against him or something along those lines. We had to try and figure out something like that.
Okay, and finally, Smudge.
Yes. So Smudge has come face to face with both his destiny and the person he most fears in the world, and is not coping, guys. Like, so he has entered the avatar state, as we call it. He is battling to keep his consciousness together at all, and also battling to control his physical form, which the high priest seems to be able to influence or wield somehow. And he had, after panically trying to crawl away, after seeing the priest go after Aledwin, had managed for a brief moment to pull it together enough to take control of the power form and stand up to the high priest and inflict some damage. And I think I narrated it sounding kind of like Wonder Woman coming out of the trench into no man's land.
I haven't
that's
seen Wonder Woman
not-
yet,
But that's not what it is. Instead, this is a dog protecting its food bowl from a vacuum cleaner.
Oh,
That is what's going on with Smudge.
I like
he has
that.
moved closer to the group and is trying to protect them, but who knows how long that'll last.
All right, Smudge, I'm going to make you do a roll that I think you've only had to do once or twice.
oh, and I didn't go.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I meant to start with you in my circle.
Yeah, no, you're fine. No worries at all. But I know I had just been healed and like just got on my feet right before Aledwin had gone over to the high priest.
With the healing potion? Did you
yes?
bust
No,
out with that?
No, I used lay on hands.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used lay on hands. I spent luck point to just completely fully heal her, I believe.
Yes.
So I was fully healed. I had just gotten up, and I know I was heading towards Avatar Smudge at that point. Is where I am situationally.
Okay. Smudge, you are Destiny's plaything, and I would like you to give me a plus weird roll to see what your destiny has in store for you.
That's not bad. That is 8 total.
You got a vague hint. Your consciousness doesn't have the strongest grip on your reality, and you feel your memories start to mix with your consciousness, with your present. And you have a flashback to when you first arrived at this tree, and it's a calm memory. You're holding Elend's hand, and she's walking you down the hallways to what you later determined was a holding cell. But the walk itself is calm and quiet, and the only sound are your footsteps in the hallway. And she's talking softly to you. You know, Smudge, there's so much I wish I could tell you about this place, about what's going on, about my beliefs. I guess you could tell, and she shoves off her robes a little bit. You're familiar with a lot of the followers of Sehanine, and that's something that I've maybe taken a few steps away from. You know, religious belief is not always easy for everyone, but if there's one thing that I know is pure and true here, is that we have an entire waterfall that has been blessed by the moon and can, well, you know, it's just like really, really, really good water. If if you're ever around, I should probably show it to you before, before things get a little scary. And then your memories start to blend in and your vision returns to your current state, and you just see the flickering room around you, the partly destroyed altar room. And then you have another flashback, and it's you and the high priest, and it's just this booming, commanding, persistent, unrelenting voice that tells you over and over again how worthless you are, how your power is weak, how you'll never amount to something. And not even a goddess can stop you, but he fears the gods. And return. The priest. I've got a note for this. I hate using notes. This is honestly going to be the worst for me. Oh, I even wrote a whole thing. Ugh.
Go for it.
I mean, I can reread what I wrote. This is just why I don't write things. It's because it never sticks. What I wrote that Alen says is, "You'll be safe here. The walls are blessed by Sehanine. Our goddess blesses these isles, and she has promised to protect us from the destruction. We only have to invoke her oath, touch the water, and receive her safety." Currently, High Priest Enfarin, his body is glowing. At first glance, you could easily mistake it for moonlight, but upon closer inspection, this is a fire that is burning. This is a raging, hot power. Eledwin, for the first time, you can see the High Priest for what he truly is. A disease, a contamination of this world. This once respected elder is no such thing. What stands in front of you is an abomination. With that term, I think if I can utilize Eledwin's one remaining eye, you look from the High Priest, and then you look at Faryad, the one you had once invoked as an abomination. Faryad was the one that had fit all the prophecies about the true bringer of the apocalypse. They don't possess a human form. Strange things accompanies them. They inspire fear and hatred. But what stands in front of you is well and truly the true abomination. Faryad, going forward, I'm no longer going to penalize you for using luck, because in this space, you are not the most abominable thing anymore.
Wow.
You've been downgraded, but it's really a good upgrade.
Oh, that means I can use it with impunity.
I know you only have so many left. I'm hoping this was a good call.
Oh, wow.
Okay, yeah. Things were getting pretty close. As Eledwin is kind of concluding who the real abomination is, you all hear a crack and a boom outside. My two outdoor people, I think was Gwen and Killian, you had traveled here in a storm, and inside this enormous tree, you are able to hear the elements, and you can feel the ground tremble underneath. The High Priest raises his form, his arm, and he points at the Chosen. "Chosen! Are you ready?" He bellows.
Ready for what?
"Are you ready?" he repeats.
I and Smudge is just backing up further and further. And can
Gwen's following you.
Good call.
Yeah.
I angel wings to the waterfall?
Is that a borrowed move?
It's a borrowed move.
Absolutely.
Cool.
It's a place you've been to before.
Cool.
Hell yes. Hell.
I believe that's just something you do.
Yeah, if I'm not taking anyone, I can just do it.
Okay. What does that look like for you?
I think Smudge in the avatar state, he's kind of staticky, and his static, the pattern of the flashing is reflecting kind of what he's feeling. And as he's just trying to get out, he blinks and blinks and blinks, and then suddenly he's not there anymore. So it's not at all majestic like when Eledwin's beautiful feathers fall down.
It's like this broken, as you said, staticky kind of disappearance.
Mm-hmm.
The high priest just laughs. First off, not what I expected. This messes up my whole monologue.
Yes. Already changing the game.
Welcome to every
5 minutes
tabletop
in.
game ever.
That's our Smudge.
Yeah, if anyone was gonna.
It would be him. No, this is perfect. The high priest laughs, and the form trembles. You all recognize your doom, do you not? You mortals understand the power of that creature? That goblin is some kind of chosen, and it is not simply a creature that can be captured and contained. A chosen is someone who has gone through turmoil, chaos, pain, and suffering, of which exceeds that what a normal person can endure. A chosen is not simply someone who possesses unspeakable power, but a chosen is someone who can make a fatal decision. I've chosen your goblin because I recognize that he will let so many die. And I wish this high priest had eyes to look at Eledwin. Your chosen, the one I have chosen to use, when he joins my power as a sacrifice, our powers will merge, utilizing the same source of evil to to trigger unimaginable destruction and chaos. This power will cleanse all the monsters and rend the Lendor Isles quiet for myself and my followers. And the high priest is going to start walking towards, like, more of a moving away from everybody. Now it's time for reactions.
Jesus.
Who would like to do what? There's no turn order.
Should I put in catapult?
You are
Yes,
welcome to
please.
try. Absolutely.
All right. I am going to use my pudding catapult. And basically from my arms, sort of, they kind of glue together and then break off. And as they sort of glue together, they start forming the catapult. And this sort of like almost gooey substance starts forming in the carriage of the catapult.
Okay. Excellent.
And as I pull away, I trigger the catapult, and the catapult goes wee and splash on the high priest.
Give me that kick some ass roll.
All right.
And reread to me the tags associated with a move like that.
So 4 harm, far area, heavy, messy, reload, magic.
What did you roll?
So that is a total of, with my kicking some ass,
Plus
9.
tough 9? Mixed success. So, okay, what does it first look like as you hit him? Like, are you, I don't know how to.
So it's some black pudding that just kind of starts on and enveloping, and I imagine like as it's messy, it kind of splashes everywhere. And if he's backing away, hopefully none of my friends are there. And it's not a mayhem roll; it's just one of my actual weapons.
Yep.
My goddamn lab coat. It's so much more messy than it should.
And the black ooze, it's acidic, so it starts to like. First of all, it's because it's magic. It's magical. It comes from my creation, and it starts eating away at any, I imagine, mundane or however you want to roll with that.
No, that's perfect. You see the splatter of this catapult smack this towering form of a once high elf man. And where this catapult has splatted against him, that blackness remains, and it shows starkly against the contrast of his glowing form, and it sizzles. It's a hard sound to hear. There's probably a lot of echoing and sad, dying breathing. However, you can slightly hear that sizzle of, it's almost like hot water on a hot surface. And some of his darkness goes out. However, the high priest is continuing to walk away, and as a reaction for your 9 on a kick some ass, there is always a consequence to performing violence. And I'm a fan of an eye for an eye, as they say. And the high priest is, without even turning around, he raises that hand again and points. This time, instead of pointing at the spot where Smudge once was, he points at you, and a beam of golden lightning shoots out. And I'm going to roll for the harm damage because...
Oh, it's not the same damage that I do?
It'll be whatever his weapon does, but I haven't decided. Okay. It's just going to be... I'm going to roll a d4. 3 harm, please.
Oh,
yeah.
3 harm magic concentrated.
I only have 1 pip left before I am dying.
Yikes!
You're unstable.
Oh, wait. Would my armor apply?
It's a magic move.
Well, so is my armor, and
that was my question. Then yes, you can apply your armor.
Oh, thank God.
Okay, so that's just 1 harm then.
Nice.
Whew.
Ooh, I'm 3 away from dying, but I am I am at 4.
Okay, does that mark you as unstable yet?
If I don't quite know what triggers unstable, if it's taking 4 harm.
No, when you pass the threshold, so you're at 4 harm, so you're still stable, but once you hit the 5th harm mark, that's when you become unstable.
Mine is at the 3rd pip, though.
Everyone's is different. It's kind of class dependent. Let me check. Summoned.
Because that's what it says for me. More than 4 harm is especially dangerous, so I'm guessing.
Oh yeah,
at that moment,
more than 4 harm is especially dangerous.
Yes.
Okay, then I am unstable.
Okay.
Oh, well,
There's small crackles of lightning that zap around your body, and it's making it a little difficult to move. If you want to move with any kind of haste, you will be at a disadvantage.
Okay.
The high priest has taken a few steps away to leave the altar room. Who would like to react? I love just like...
So this is what I'm going to do. Shit. Is Elaine around?
On the ground.
Where is she?
I think passed out.
I'm gonna make her useful because she's not gonna just be there. I'm gonna use trust me, I'm a doctor to bring her kind of back to life. Okay. Like wake her ass up. So let's see. Also, I may need one's help for this because, as you already know, I have one arm.
Yeah, if he calls me over, I'll rush on over.
Yeah, because Smudge just left, so you're standing in front of an empty
spot.
Yeah,
I was like halfway there, and then just poof. Okay.
Okay, plus my weird, that is a 13.
That's a heckin' success. Yeah.
Yes. So the way how it looks
patient is stabilized
that,
and healed of harm too. Let me find her HP points.
Yeah.
Okay. But like, walk me through. So you didn't end up needing anybody's help. So how do you doctor this with one arm?
Okay, so basically what ends up happening is I pull Gwen over and I tell, listen, I'm gonna need you to do some CPR, and then afterwards, when you hear her breathing, I need you to pour the extra potion that you have, and basically give it to her to drink.
Sure.
And that's how I basically bring her back to being useful.
What do? You delegate? Is that?
I mean, I don't know.
I mean, it's fine.
I don't think you've been in a situation where like you had to like give somebody CPR to like bring them back from being passed out. So I had to be like, shit.
Was she breathing already? Was she still breathing, or did she need to be resuscitated?
You know what?
Because CPR is usually only you need when you're being resuscitated.
All right, Bianca, you tell me, because that's what basically what came to mind. But I could just like slap her around and be like, get up, get up.
I can give you my healing potion and you can give it to her.
Like smelling salts, healing potion, and check for wounds.
Yeah, because here's the thing that I kind of need like this little small victory of slapping her around, because she just annoys me. Because and I know I feel like if I was to hand the potion, I won't do it. I'll just like cut her a bit, but no. Basically that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna give her like half of the potion and have her basically be conscious and help. We need all the help we can get.
Okay. So mark that you only have one half of a health potion, which will heal. Yes, to Shannon. You only have it'll heal 1 point. With that small mouthful that is left in my imagined HP pot. Yeah, Elen, she stereotypical kind of like. And her eyes open, and she's laying on her back, and it takes a moment where the first thing that she sees is this one-armed, sword arm individual in a dirty lab coat hovering over her, probably looking incredibly menacing.
I'm pissed off.
For context, too, you had rolled a pretty successful intimidation your last interaction, so her feelings about you are not positive.
I don't care, because no lie, my second thing was gonna be using I was a bad man again to threaten her into helping me if she decided she didn't want to help me.
I'll see. Okay. Yeah, so she's gonna sit up really quickly and start to scramble away. What are you doing? And her eyes will take in the scene again, and she's gonna freeze.
Yes, now that you understand what's going on, I'm gonna need you to help.
How am I supposed to help in this situation? What do you think that I'm capable of doing? I don't think I belong here. I didn't even want to be a part of this. And she keeps glancing over to the high priest.
Well, listen, you're already a part of this. Your cult pretty much got us into this mess. I would like to think you have some decent knowledge and smarts to know how to help us out with the situation. Please.
It's not that I don't want to help. It's just that I value my life a little bit more. And she's going to kind of butt scoot a little bit away.
I'm one of them bad man.
Pause. The high priest is now at the threshold of the altar room. Gwen, Aledwin, what would you like to do?
I think Gwen realizing that she can't, there's nothing physical that's going to stop this creature. She kind of is seeing that and understanding that. If Faryad can't, then nobody can. So I think she's just gonna, when she's done helping Killian, she's gonna turn to Aledwin, I don't know how far he is, and just either yell or say, "Can you get to Smudge? You've got the angel wings too. Can you get to Smudge?"
If you can hold him off here, I'll get Smudge.
I'll do my best.
And I'm going to turn to Aelin, and I'm going to kind of stare her down with my one eye.
Yes, good.
If ever there was a time for you to be who I've always believed you could be, now is the time. And then I'll wrap the cloak around me dramatically and ascend, leaving some feathers behind.
Well, that was very impressionable. All right, top of the order now that we have an established turn order. Smudge. The waters are calm and quiet. The air is still. You don't hear any of the crackling, any of the elements outside that had become so strangely apparent in the altar room.
I think Smudge is just going to take a moment and like he's existing in that mind fuzz space right now where there's nothing up there. He's just going to take a moment and try and like feel any sort of connection to himself now that he's here alone and has literally a moment to breathe. Yeah.
Can you give me an act under pressure? I want to see, so we can role play the accurate amount of how much of yourself you really do feel like. And it's,
Fuck yeah.
well, before I'm imposing a -1, simply because you're not enough of yourself yet. You're getting flashbacks. You remember, like, Killian has spoken to you. Gwen has kind of, or was it Faryad, or was it, I think it was Faryad.
Faryad gave me
I had the whole Priscilla
Gwen
thing
had
at one
Priscilla.
point. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you have.
It doesn't matter. It's a 13.
Success. Yeah, you feel a little bit more like yourself, but you feel very powerful. It's crackling the little hairs, if you have any little hairs on your body.
I think, can I hold an action until Eledwin gets here?
Absolutely.
Cool. I want to hold the rest of my action until Eledwin gets here.
Okay. And pause. The high priest, he's now outside of the altar room, mostly unperturbed by the, what do we call it? The pudding catapults.
Pudding.
But the damage is very visible and it smells like burnt pudding.
Ugh.
Faryad, what would you like to do?
I am going to. I'm going to reload the catapult, and seeing as how it's not doing enough, I'm gonna start putting more of myself in it, so I actually become smaller.
Ooh. Ooh. I'm wondering. Roll me 2d6.
That's a total of 9.
9. You can do this 9 times before there's nothing left of you. But go ahead. Talk me through this.
So I'm trying to make like a lot of it and make it more potent. Like, sorry, not a lot of it as in many, but just there's a big payload sort of a thing.
Yep.
And I'm hoping, essentially, sort of thematically, I'm doing that, but what I'm really hoping is I roll well so that I can hopefully like do double damage or like crit or something like that.
I think that's reasonable. If you want to put more of yourself into this, I will give you an extra +1.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay. Norman, damn it. Hold on. Sorry, when he goes in and out, it switches all of our cameras.
All I do is just lower the brightness. I'm sorry.
You're okay. Okay. So this would put you at a 7. You're going to take 1 to perform the action and 1 to get the extra +1.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect.
So roll some, kick some ass.
With the +1.
So that is 10.
Nice. I think that means you get something?
Yeah, I'm just looking at the kick some ass. No, it's a 12. It's a 12. Oh, you
A
choose
10
one
plus.
extra effect.
Yes.
Can I use a luck point and just get like a 16?
Yes.
Okay, I will do that then.
I came across a really fun RP technique associated with luck, and I want you to tell me how this ended up being lucky. Like what versus the action that you were aiming to perform, and then what made this so lucky
Maybe-
that you got the extra effect that you were aiming for.
Maybe as I put part of myself in, I actually just sat on it and flew myself across with it.
Sure. I'm here for this. So with a 12, you get to pick an enhanced effect. And which enhanced effect would you like?
I would like. You completely hold the advantage. All hunters involved in the fight get a +1 forward.
That's really good. Okay.
So I'm essentially attached to him like this annoying koala.
And I love koalas. Like, that's fantastic. I just picture, because you're so little already, and like,
Yeah. Now I'm the size
massive.
of like a 5-year-old.
Just like your little arms and legs splayed on his back, like a little backpack.
Yep.
But an angry, burning, harm-inflicting backpack that does open up an opportunity of attack for my other two players in the room, because you all get +1 forward. However, you gotta roll. Hold on. I'm wondering if you always get. Stop it. Usually means you inflict the harm rating. Because one of the options on a +12 is that you suffer no harm at all. And in my head, there was never a kickback on a 12 plus, but I've also never really read it all the way through.
I mean, if this is how I go out, so be it.
Okay. Because, I mean, narratively, it just makes so much sense. You are now holding on to this well of power. It doesn't feel great. Like, it's going to burn you as much as it burns him. I'm going to roll my d4 because I don't want to kill you.
Well, I always take -2 from it anyway, so.
Okay, I'll have to yell at my dog. Also, I rolled a 3 again, so.
So that's just one more damage.
Here.
I saw this in Dragon Ball Z once.
So just one then?
Yeah.
Okay, but it does not feel good. Now you don't just feel like, okay, your movements are being limited. You feel like your whole body is on fire. But what is going through your head right now, Faryad? Like, I know what I think you think, but like, tell me what you think you think.
So what's going through my head right now is more pudding.
Huh. Not what I thought.
All right.
I was going to say whatever was on the back is now getting stuck to my head, but you know.
Yeah,
I'm
okay
kind of
with that.
merging with
The pudding that was already there. It's kind of like it back in. Cool. I can visualize that. It's great and gross. So instead of instead of a 7, we'll make it an 8 for how much of you is left. Killian.
What's up?
Elen has scrambled a little ways away from you, but at those words that Aledwin spoke, she looks a little bit more... What's that word? Oh my god, I'm gonna abandon my dog in the road for a family to take home that's not me. Yeah, she's looking a little bit, she's got more color in her face, less wide-eyed fear, more wide-eyed determination. what would you like to do?
Well, previously, before the pause, I said I was gonna roll a bad man.
I know.
So,
You can always just talk. Talking is nice
yeah,
too.
yeah.
You still have an action, but words help.
Yeah, for now, I'm gonna talk to you. Like, listen, we're kind of in a bad situation. If it'll help you, help us, I'm willing to get on my knees and beg and tell you that I'm sorry for threatening you earlier. I need all hands on deck on this situation. I'm literally trying to think of like 10,000 possibilities for this to be done, and all of them just ends horribly for all of us. Do you know anything? Can you do anything at this point for us?
She reaches up to do her telltale pinch of the bridge of the nose. You're not my issue right now. I have spent my life's work serving, and she gestures the threshold. That, and this isn't what I set out to do. I didn't want so many people to be hurt, harmed, taken away from their families. But I don't know.
It's already happened.
I don't know if I can make a difference. I don't think I'm the one. She takes a deep breath. What do you think I'm capable of doing against him?
Listen, I know you didn't set out to this, but the hand was dealt, and we have to accept the consequences that's put in front of us. So I like to think that you have some high intelligence about you, or I mean, you got with Aledwin, so I'm kind of questioning you on that. But listen, I don't care what it is. I need solutions. I need something. I've never had a problem put in front of me that I was never able to solve, and that the fact that this, of all things, is happening is stressing me out. And honestly, I'm fucking scared. Anything in the text, by the time you were spending in libraries, books, something to take that power away from him, and I don't know, maybe distribute it to someone else.
The High Priest has been collecting power for over 750 years. I don't even know when I got involved in this. I joined to be a priestess of Sehanine, and somehow it became so much worse. I can tell you that, and she gestures over at Gwen in her rapier and with her other arm at your strange remaining arm. I can tell you that those weapons are completely useless. He's immortal in a lot of senses of the word, but he's not unkillable. And she stands up, brushes off her everybody's super gross, her gross robes. Are any of you two familiar with the Oath of Sehanine?
Would I be familiar?
I think in passing, absolutely. Yeah. You've hung out on the Isles.
Yeah, and I did research a bunch of the Apocalypse stuff at one point, so it may have popped up in the text.
Yeah, and I feel like whenever I would grab something from Aledwin, he probably was talking, or I probably overheard it in the Church of the Oath every so often. So I would probably say, yeah, I've heard some random things.
Okay, so you all nod in agreement. He and Farin, I shouldn't even call him a high priest anymore. I feel gross even saying that. He hasn't followed the goddess Sehanine in a long time, and he is still susceptible to her powers. I think if we could find a way to invoke potentially her magics, her strength, Aledwin, I don't think he's the one that could maybe help us with this, though. We might have to find a different solution.
What would you suggest?
I mean, you're here right now. Why can't we just use you?
Yeah.
I think I stopped being a real follower a long time ago. And, you know, when you commit so many atrocities, there's somehow no going back.
Oh, so it's not
So
like the
what
Catholic
do you
faith and where you
recommend?
could just repent.
Not gonna comment on that.
No, no.
I recognize that I have to face the consequences for my actions, but I don't have her blessing right now. This
How do we get her blessing?
this
Can
place,
one of us just get her blessing?
maybe if you want to convert, but like there's a whole ceremony involved, and it has to be on a full moon.
I'm not a no.
Can we
Thank
can we
you.
kind of speed this up?
Yeah, he's walking away. Is he? We can't.
We need to slow him
let
down
him
somehow, and that's
get
what we're
your
trying to figure
friend.
out.
Yes, we cannot let him. As soon as your friend, Smudge, as soon as him and Smudge merge, that's it. This is the last bit of power that he needs.
What can we do to slow him down?
Magic.
Can we
I
siphon
don't
the
have
ability?
that.
Oh my god, I need
It's like
something.
the thing I don't have.
Yeah, I mean, I have weird science, but it's not the same.
Science isn't magic.
I can be a
That's
No,
conduit.
more about
science-
magic,
no,
I
science
suppose.
No, hold on. Science is just magic that's been understood. There's a difference.
That's fair. You're correct. I would agree.
If you want, I can be a conduit for magic. I can lend you my powers, but you both have to use it.
Okay.
And it might. She looks over at the tiny koala-shaped form on the back of the high priest, who is trudging very
Sorry, I
slowly
keep doing
away.
the thing.
I can't guarantee that your friend will make it out alive.
Sorry, I keep doing the thing. Shit.
What else can we do? Can we get
I'm-
you Faria drop down?
I mean,
I
mean,
can
Down,
give you,
Faria.
I can give you my
Yeah.
power, but you have to be the one to use it. I can't stand up to that. I cannot even tell you what it hurts me even saying these things, but I don't think that I'm capable of being the one to deal the blow.
I'm gonna look over to Gwen and I'm gonna tell her we might as well just use this magic now, since it's in a sense just down to us.
All we
Yeah.
have.
So I
Never
say
something else.
let's try to, I don't know, take his powers.
We'll use her powers.
Well, yeah, use her powers to take his powers.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
So, what this is called is
Yeah.
a move called Big Magic.
Mm.
Big Magic often requires prep, collaboration, multiple roles, items, whatever I think is necessary. So, contextually, I want you both to determine what you would like to do, what kind of move. I've based a lot of Alen off of a wizard, I believe, like a D&D wizard.
Okay.
You're welcome to pull out any moves. It's mostly for visual flares.
Sure.
But she will be the well of power. I'm going to roll to give you how much of that you can use. If you want to exceed it, there are consequences for her. And it'll be a group roll between the two of you.
Okay.
A weird roll and an act under pressure. So you two can decide what you would like.
I'll take the weird roll
Okay.
since I have the +2.
Yeah, I have no weird, so good plan. And then act under pressure. Which one does that use again?
Cool.
Well, yeah.
Oh, I'm not that cool, but I think I have a thing where I can use my
Sure.
sharp. Yep. So I will definitely do the act under pressure instead of I'll do that roll. Yeah. Are we doing it now?
Yes, please.
Okay. I was like, wait. 14.
Nice. Yeah,
Uh,
so you have no
same.
problems with this.
No, actually, mine was 13.
13?
Yeah.
Okay, the two of you, let's collaborate. Alen reaches out with both of her hands for you to take. I don't know, Killian. She can hold on to like
Sword.
your arm.
Well,
do you
no-
have a shoulder blade?
Yeah.
Like skin.
Yeah.
No.
Okay. So she reaches to touch, like to contact your skin, and she holds on to Gwen's hand. Whatever action you perform will have a harm rating of 4. Magic. You can each pick one tag and describe how it looks. And with those rolls, you get an enhanced effect, which is either inflict, ignore armor, enchant a weapon, do a thing beyond human limitation, bar a place or portal to a specific person, type, or creature, trap a specific person, minion, or monster, banish a spirit, summon a monster, communicate, like, kind of get a feel for it. Because Alen, all she has to do is just give you her power.
Well,
I mean, my vote would be for trap it. I think we want to keep it here as long as we can. That would be my recommendation.
And I don't know how much of a movie buff you are, but in Superman 3, when you send Zod into the Phantom Zone and you see him flying away in deep space, that's
just
banishing.
I think
Damn.
narratively, banishing probably won't be an option because you can't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So definitely.
I think trapping is our best bet.
Okay. If you're going to trap, then it's not going to do harm. It's simply going to be. So sorry, I should have said that earlier. It's either inflict the harm or inflict the effect with a big magic.
I would rather do the effect in this case.
Yeah, same here.
Okay.
I think. Do you feel that way, Killian?
Yeah.
Collaboration.
Yeah.
I think we just need to keep it from smudge as long as we can. Yeah.
Seeing how
Trap it.
basically any weapon we use right now is basically a no-go.
Useless.
Yeah.
Means
what
nothing.
does this magical trap look like? What does the magic look like from you two? It's honestly my favorite part.
I don't know.
I know.
I'm channeling so much anime in my life right now, and
Go
us
for
getting
it.
like auras and shit.
Dude,
and
yeah.
we just like have like a whole like magic circle of light just come up from a top and above them and just keep them in a cage.
Ooh. Can it be a
That's just
magical
cool.
cage where there's nothing like around him, but you just see the glowing on the top and the bottom on the floors?
Yeah, like the two circles, like just
Yeah.
like right above and beneath him, and it's just like he can't get. It's like an invisible force field that he can't tap out of.
Oh, I like that. Okay.
I feel like just for flair, I think each of the like parts of this cage should have like a color representing us. Like one part of it's you and one part of it's me, to be like,
Yeah.
we got the because we both did it. I would probably, I mean, at this point I'm wearing this like teal, so that's probably like a bluish green color for me.
That's pretty.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mine would be like a reddish black. Would be
Yep.
that
Unsurprising.
Yeah. I'm just because of like the little pin that I have. That's what came to mind. I'm like, she's gonna have to go for it.
No, I think that's beautiful. The High Priest and now Faryad are trapped in this magic holding tube cell.
Mhm.
He continues to try and step forward, but his movements are immediately impeded, and he just hits the wall and stops moving. Alen, still holding on to you, she starts to waver a little bit, and she's got about not a lot of time left before things don't work well.
Sure.
Aledwin, you arrive in the, what did I call it? The pool room? Waterfall
Yeah, it was
room.
like a waterfall or something.
That's what I wrote. Yeah, waterfall room. Calm pool of water. Blue. The calmness remains, but there is a electricity in the air, and the form in front of you is the most stable that you've seen it yet.
Smudge. Smudge.
Hi. Eddie. I think I know what I have to do.
Smudge. I found the treasure.
Yeah? Are
I
you
found
mad?
your clan's treasure. No, I'm not mad. And in fact, you may have noticed, but I've been excommunicated from the church. My duty no longer holds sway over me, but I believe at this point the only duty I have now is to your clan.
You mean it?
Now, come on. Of course I do. Take my hand.
Mm-mm. I think... Eddie, I think I have to go in the water.
Is that what you truly believe you must do? Or is that what the priests here have made you think you must do?
It's the bug lady. She said, if I go in the water and I say the oath and things will happen. And I think I have to. But I don't want to.
Would you like me to hold your hand?
If something bad happens, Eddie,
My oaths now apply to you, Smudge. Nothing bad will happen to you as long as I am alive.
but if it does, promise you'll share the treasure with Variad because they're in the clan too, okay?
The treasure stays with the clan.
Okay.
You have my word.
Okay. And Avatar Smudge is going to, like a 3-year-old at their first swimming lesson, sit down on the edge of the pool and put his feet in and then turn around so it's just his legs hanging in and reach up and like grab Eddie's gauntlet with a fucking death grip. You promise you won't let go.
It would all the powers of the hells to release this hand from yours.
But Eddie, okay. And Smudge, without thinking about it, thrusts himself away from the wall and into the water.
Give me an act under pressure, please. I would say with a +1, you've got a friend that's making this a little bit less of a pressure situation.
Ooh, well, that +1 takes it to a 12.
Nice. The sensation that your toes feel is warmth. It doesn't feel bad. It feels safe. It feels comfortable. As your whole body hits the water, the power that had surrounded you extinguishes, and there's a brief moment where you feel nothing again. It's almost like you're in that space of reality, in your brain, in your head, of nothingness. You know that you exist, but there is no sense of yourself. And then, almost like out-of-body experience, you can see your body in this water, and it has started to rise up a little bit. Ledwin is still gripping so tightly onto your hand, but the form that he's holding on to has stopped moving.
Dissociative Smudge is trying very hard not to panic as he feels this warmth. And very quietly inside his headspace, he just starts to say, with maybe the only sincerity anyone except for Killian has heard from him, Sahinin Suor Telkiat Dasha Saltua Kane Daltena Salmor Salne Tashul Aya Michael Brun Osune Lithi Sal Azayant Morak Akvelam Aktvanya Sonal Telkarum Al Telneve Telnoir Silian Nara Aul Telringhe Telive Silian Yan Telinman Terfoco Silian Aegis Telor Athvirimar Salmont Selen Fean Lor Sahinin. And there's a moment where it almost breaks. Nashpren Norashent Iliad Helre Nealet Elisel Sildarie. And he pledges himself, not with the oath that we'd been taught before, but he pledges himself to Sahanin directly from now and this day forward until the end of his days.
There is a moment of, I hate the expression, but like a pregnant silence. It is a silence that is filled with so much pressure, anticipation, power. And then there's a boom. The illusion of this tree fades, and you are all outside. The rain is pouring from the sky. Thunder booms around you, lightning flashes, and the ground beneath your feet begins to tremble. But in the sky, the bluest sky that you've seen in weeks, you see this perfect, round, glowing full moon casting a pillar of light towards the pool that Smudge once was. The light encompasses your out-of-body experience that only you can feel and see, but most importantly, it creates a glowing circle around the formless, limp body of Smudge. The power that you once felt that was uncontrollable, it feels light. It feels like nothing. You feel like the pain and the suffering have evaporated, and you just feel like a god right now. His form kind of tips up in the water, and Smudge, with your own red eyes, you meet Eledwin's one eye. What would you two like to do?
So the tree is gone.
The tree is super gone.
Can we see the others?
It's just this huge clearing. The ground itself is rather unstable. It's earth, cracked dirt. You see off in the distance, like a burly woman that you might identify her as to be like captain of the Coast Guards. And she was pulling a unconscious body, which you can identify as Blue. And just kind of like she froze and looked around when the tree disappeared. Farther away to maybe the left, there is this glowing form, this glowing cylinder, light on top, light on the bottom, but there's no more ceiling, so it's just placed kind of slightly taller than the high priest. And you see Elen with her arms outstretched, and Gwen and Killian holding on for dear life. And just barely, there's a dark speck on the back of the glowing high priest, and you think that it might be your bud Faryad. What would you like to do, Eledwin?
Do we still have our hands clasped?
I would say yes.
Yeah, it's up to you.
Okay. And has Smudge changed in size at all, or is he still the same size, just now much more
I would
power
say
incarnate?
same size, just feels more powerful.
Am I getting any feeling through my hand?
Yeah. This sensation reminds you of the first time that you pledged yourself to Sahanine. It's almost like a euphoric sensation.
Okay. I can work with that.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna look down then at Smudge. What do you say? I give you one more ride. This time into battle.
Let's do the thing.
I'll just one arm swing this, I'm assuming same weight goblin onto
Yeah.
my back and just charge.
Kick some ass? Like, are you?
Yeah. Well, hey, yeah. I mean, if I get the opportunity to, sure thing.
Yeah.
It's a heck of a sight, I'll tell you that.
I bet.
He's like beaten and battered paladin with this like ethereal goblin on his back. It's beautiful.
And just the makeup mascara running down my face in the rain.
God.
Now it's more like a war paint.
Yeah. Just like the streak. Yeah.
All right. That's a 9.
9. Hold on. Yes. Why?
You don't long to me to plug an HDMI back in the TV.
I don't. I'm sorry. I'll plug it in
Instead of
myself.
calling me and grabbing this one off the floor in the dog room.
I've been looking everywhere for a new cable.
No, but instead of calling me, you took it upon yourself to disconnect my stuff.
I will connect it back.
You're gonna put it in the back of the TV.
Yes.
Good luck with that.
Thank you. All right. You rolled a 9
Yes.
for kick some ass, which is a mixed success. So what kind of fighting are you trying to do?
Well, the only target is what was the high priest sort of being who's encased with Faryad on its back.
Two
And
piggy
the other thing I've got, yeah,
I
yeah,
like that. It's-
all right, yes,
It's a chicken fight.
That's the one.
exactly.
I love it so much.
Yeah, okay. But like, so I need to understand what the action of fighting is that you're trying to perform so we can determine the harm rating.
Yeah.
Or is
so
it just because
basically
if you
I'm-
just wanted to run, that would just be a
I mean, I'm running, and I guess what the hell? Do a good shoulder check. See if I can maybe
okay.
knock it down.
It's important to note, and I this is something Eledwin would know, is that magical barrier stops anything magical from getting in or out.
Does that include my angel wings?
Probably. So I'm thinking you could go
Okay.
through, but Smudge might.
Is Smudge not considered magical right now?
Currently, he's considered magical, so that's why he can't get in or out.
Okay, I see. Okay.
You're again. You gave me a 9, so you can complete the action, but
Yeah.
Smudge will fall off the back.
Okay. So I'm going to, in order to, I guess, save time, because we can see that the being is beginning to escape.
He's trying his
Or they're
best.
just barely
Len
holding
is
on,
losing
right?
her power, and yeah.
Okay. So then in an effort to save time, because, yeah, I can pretty fast, but I can throw a lot faster, I'm going to, at a whisper from my ear, just hurl the small goblin as best I can, not towards the high priest necessarily, but just towards the area to get him there as quickly as possible.
Okay. with a 9, mixed success. So you are able to throw him. And how cool does it look?
I